Hey, boys and girls, it's Mrs. Mori here, reading lesson 4. We're going to be talking about types of poetry today. We're going to talk about 5 different types of poetry, but we're really going to hone in on couplets and quatrains for today's activity. This is my first time using Screencastify, so stick with me if I'm not looking in the right direction or whatnot. I'll get it down eventually. But here we go, different types of poetry. So the first type of poetry that we are going to talk about is a cinquain. And this is a type of poem that has 5 lines, and it usually describes one thing or one object. So we're going to read one about ice cream. Dessert, cold, creamy, eating, giggling, licking, cone with 3 scoops, ice cream. I could use some ice cream for dessert. That is a really great little type of poem using lots of descriptive words. Pretty simplistic, fun to read. Next, we're going to talk about haiku. So this is the type of poem that has 3 lines. It follows a syllable pattern. So we go 5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables. And the origin of these poems comes from the Japanese culture. Typically, these poems are about nature. And you're going to get the opportunity in the next lesson when we dive a little deeper into haikus to write your own haiku. So to go outside and to be in nature and to write about something that you see or experience. So let me move my face over a little bit. And here we go. Here are 2 haiku examples. In old silent pond, a frog jumps into the pond. Splash! Silence again. And here's another one. Whispering softly, willow trees in the winter sway in the cold wind. And when I close my eyes and read both of these poems, I can picture that frog jumping into the pond and then that willow tree blowing in the wind with its bare branches during the winter time. Okay, the next type of poem that we're going to talk about is a limerick, and these are probably my favorites. This is a funny poem, and it has a rhyme scheme where the first 2 lines are going to rhyme AA, the middle 2 lines are going to rhyme BB, and then the last line will rhyme those first 2. So your rhyme scheme is AABBA. And these poems are often humorous, funny. They date back to the 1700s with let me see, I wrote down his name and now, of course, I can't find it. Oh, Edward Lear. And you'll see right here at the top, this first limerick is by Edward Lear. We're going to go a little deeper into our limerick poems in lesson 6, so the 3rd lesson for this unit. And here we go. Here's the first example of one. There was an old man in a boat who said, I'm afloat, I'm afloat. When they said, no, you ain't, he was ready to faint. That unhappy old man in a boat. And here's another limerick poem. Melissa once studied ballet and liked to show off her plie, which got some attention, for she failed to mention she quit class after 1 day. If you remember when we read Matilda earlier this year, Matilda wrote a limerick about Miss Honey right on the spot. It was like a little funny poem about her personality. And like I said, when we get a little deeper into limericks in a couple lessons, I actually wrote a limerick to read to you guys. So that'll be fun, and you'll have a chance to read limericks on your own too. So here's kind of the meat of today. We're going to focus in the most on our couplets and our quatrain poems. So first we have a couplet, and this poem is set up with 2 lines that rhyme. So 2 lines, 2 lines, 2 lines, 2 lines. Couplet means 2 couple. If you think about it, you have a couple of hands, 2 people who might live together, or your mom and dad is a couple. So couplet is 2. This one is called Captive. Once I dive into these pages, I may not come out for ages. Books have powers over me. Inside a book, I am not free. I am a prisoner in a land of print on paper in my hand. But do not worry, do not fear. I'm a happy captive here. It's about reading a book. I know sometimes when I'm reading a book, my focus and my imagination are captive as well. And here are a couple examples of quatrains. So these are poems that are grouped into 4-line stanzas. And you'll see this many times in types of poems that the stanzas are going to be organized this way. And sometimes, but not always, the quatrains might have a rhyme scheme just like the one we see above. So once again, let me just move my face over here so that we can read the poem Car Wash. Car Wash. When I'm hungry, I eat cars. I can chew them 3 at a time. Turning mud into sudsy bubbles all day long, I swallow grime. My mouth hangs open every spring, luring cars to my garage with promises of shiny beauty, cleanliness, a deep massage. I love all my meals on wheels, antique and sporty, short and wide. I eat them up, I clean them up, I spit them out the other side. I really liked this descriptive poem of a car wash, and I imagined the big opening of the car wash as a mouth with the different sudsy bubbles and things going on. And then one more example of a quatrain. This is a short one. Baseball game. I was so small, but got a treat. I caught a ball right in my seat. Oh, that was a cute one. I think you guys could write one even better than that. So after this video, you are going to complete an assignment titled Homework 4-15-22, Lesson 4, Couplets in Quatrains. And so your goal of that assignment is to identify the couplets and quatrains of different poems that you're going to see in there. And you should have just watched the vocabulary video, my video, and then you'll follow up with that activity. And like I said, your next lesson will be on haikus, followed by a lesson on limericks. So hope you're enjoying our poetry unit so far, and I will talk to you soon.